I always try to not talk too much of these things. I had band directors when I was growing up that like to talk a lot, and I was like, please, just let us play. So I try not to do that, but it's always important, I think, to thank as many people as you can at these things. The band is so much more than just the students on the stage and the two directors and Miss Livingston. You know, I could stand up here all night and just thank people and still forget people. But about 3 days ago, we had our annual cakewalk, and it was the first time that the cakewalk was back in its proper location at the end of February since 2019. And I remember that 2019 cakewalk because about 3 days later, we got 2 days off of school because of the illnesses that were going around, and I'm pretty sure that we started at the cakewalk. And I remember thinking during that week, I was like, man, this will never happen again. We'll never get this much time off for sickness. And then 2 weeks later, we got 47 days off of school. And then we came back and we were doing all that crazy stuff with that schedule. So it was very nice to have the cakewalk back in its spot. I think we all need to give a round of applause to Cindy Schrading, Dia Hyman, and Andrea Benjamin for kind of leading the charge on that. And if you were one of the volunteers, thank you so much for coming. As I'm a parent myself, and I understand that when you go buy eggs now, it is more than what it was a year ago. And so those inflation costs, of course, are hitting everything that we buy as well. Boxes of reeds, gas for the truck, all that kind of stuff that makes the band go. So these fundraisers are even more important now than ever. So yeah, thank you guys so much for a wonderful event the other day. Of course, we have our opening day parade coming up in about 30 days from today. So that's going to be exciting. The band got a lot of street cred because we got everybody a half day off of school. So that was awesome. Yeah, that'll go down in history. So yeah, we got some exciting things coming up. I will talk a little bit more after this about some exciting things that we have done over the past couple months and some people we need to recognize up here. So this is Prairie Dances by David Holsinger. to District 14 OMEA Solo and Ensemble Contest, please stand up. A round of applause for these guys. They all work very, very hard. They all earn superior and excellent ratings all the way down the list, so it's very, very good. One of the scariest events that we do where some of these guys went like individually and stood in front of a judge that played their instrument professionally, and they say yeah or no. You know, like it's that cutthroat. So these kind of events during the off season, quote unquote, they make our marching band, they make our concert band better by getting these guys to individually work on things. So yeah, this is the most people that we've had go to this in quite a few years. So another round of applause for these guys. All right, the next tune we're going to play for you, Mr. Vetter calls this. Mr. Vetter was actually at the high school that I attended last night. He was a guest conductor of a middle school honor band, so that was awesome. It was very weird to see him at the place where I went to school. And one other thing, I went to the concert, I was judging him, and one of the things that I liked that he said is that every band needs a stretch piece. And I thought in my brain, that's a really nice way of saying this piece is really hard and it may not work. So this is a piece called Allegro Barbaro by Bela Bartok, he's a Hungarian composer. And this was originally written for piano. And if you can tell by the title, it's kind of an angry, crazy piece. And I thought, these guys would be perfect for this. So this is Allegro Barbaro. saxophone solo in the middle of that. Freshman. That song is hard. That was a lot of notes. Yeah. All right, so we just played a song from Hungry, and now we're going to play a song from about 5 minutes from here. This is called the Crosley March. It was written by Henry Fillmore, right here in Cincinnati, Ohio. Powell Crosley, of course, was the owner of the Cincinnati Reds back in the day, so I figured we'll keep with our theme this year. The Reds won a fake baseball game today, so I feel like that was good. Good moment, yeah. Beat the Dodgers C team, I think, so that's good. So this is the Crosley March, and then we'll have some announcements, and we'll get you guys on your way. Thank you. So, this is the end of the concert this evening. Unfortunately, we don't have any more songs ready. We have to get ready for Parker's. So tomorrow we will start, at least in jazz band, we're going to start that process. So they're pretty excited. I can't wait to show you what we're going to be doing for that. Really, really proud of these kids. This is the hardest time of the school year. From January 1st to like March 1st, in my opinion. That's the hardest part of the school year. There is not a ton of huge things going on. So it's easy for kids to be distracted. They can be tired. The weather's not usually great, although this February's been like April. We can get bogged down. And even the teachers, we can get bogged down this time of year. I'm really proud of these guys for accepting the challenge of some of this music. This is definitely a level up from what we've been doing. And that should make the fall a little bit easier on us when it comes to competing. So I'm really proud of these guys. It is a true privilege to work with them every day. I don't tell them that. I don't want them to know that. But it really is. It is a privilege to work with these guys every day. I'd like to thank Mr. Vetter. Yeah, there's his hand right there. 10 minutes before the concert tonight, I forgot. I was like, hey, dude, you need a microphone. Can you make that happen? And those are the kind of things that a good assistant director is like, oh, I'll take care of it. You don't worry about it. So it is, once again, it's a privilege to work with somebody like Mr. Vetter. He is the Yogi Berra of Cincinnati band directors. I'm coining that. That's for you. So yeah, it is so much fun to come work here every day. So and thank you guys very much for putting up with the emails and all the craziness. So this last song, should we do the thing first?
Well, I think any other announcements, and then we need to warn.
Let me get my music. We are coming up to the season where we are going to be looking for maybe some new band sponsors, officers. So I will be putting out some information about that coming up. If you've ever fancied yourself to be involved with this a little bit more, we have tried to make it a little bit more digestible for people in a modern world because it can be a lot of work, but it is so important to have a good volunteer group around. So over the course of like the next month or so, be looking for a few things from me about that. Mr. Vetter, is there any other announcements? Yeah. Last announcement I have is that in about the next week or so, be looking on the email for the Bandcamp packet. It's going to be if you've been in band, it's going to be pretty much the same. The costs have gone up just a tiny bit. But I think it'll be manageable for most. So be looking for that. It's got the schedule all the way to the first day of school, and then hopefully in the next few weeks after that, I can get the fall schedule out. So be looking for that, and then it's got the big thing in there. It's got the dates for fees for band camp and things like that. So be looking for that. I think that's all I have. Anything else we can put out in email. I don't need to talk anymore. Mr. Vetter, do the thing. Yep. And do the next level too, I think. Let's go all the way, why not? All right, so I was about 8 years old, and my father, who he could not be here tonight, he was going to be here, and then he is not feeling well this evening. So, but my father took me and my family to Mammoth Cave, Kentucky. Please cheer if you've been to Mammoth Cave. At this age, when I was 8 years old, Mammoth Cave became my favorite place in the world. It is truly an amazing place. If you've never been here, it's about 3 hours from here. Mammoth Cave, as it stands today, is 426 miles long. It is the longest known cave on Earth, and it is right here in Kentucky, across the river in Kentucky. So it is a fantastic place, and one of the things we try to do in band is we try to talk about like history and geography and any other subjects that we can talk about to kind of relate the music that we're playing to the real world. And so I found this piece of music called Lost in Mammoth Cave, and we started playing it, and the music is fantastic. And one of the things that we talked about were some of the people that were brave enough to go into this cave before we had like electric lights and two-way radios and things like that. And there was a gentleman, he was a Native American about 4,000 years ago, ventured into this cave. The best we can tell, he was about 5'2", and his job was to go into the cave and get the gypsum that grows on the side of the cave walls. And because the Native Americans thought that it had some sort of healing properties. And I can't believe they did this. I was too much of a scaredy cat to do this, but they went like 19 miles into the cave. They found artifacts that far in. This particular gentleman, 4,000 years ago, went into the cave and never came back out. And what had happened is his body was crushed by a boulder. And then they found his body in the early 1900s, and it was almost in perfect condition. It was almost perfectly preserved in the environment in the cave. And so from that one finding, we have learned a tremendous amount about the people that lived here 4,000 years ago. So very, very cool place. This cave is a very special place for me. I hadn't been there in about a decade, and then I got to go back this past June. And as an almost 40-year-old, I can tell you that the 4-mile hike is a lot harder than it was when I was 21. So if you ever get a chance to go, I highly advise it. I think that's it as far as I'm concerned, as far as the cave goes. It is impossibly dark inside this cave. If you've never been and you get a chance to go, one of the things they do inside the cave, they'll get you about 2 miles in, and then they will shut down the lights. And they ask everyone to be quiet. And I told the kids earlier, I said, you don't understand what darkness is until you're standing in this cave and your eyes are just searching for any inkling of light that they can find, to the point where they almost start to make their own light. But I said the overwhelming part was the silence. There is no sound in that cave at all. And it starts to get to you almost immediately. So I can't imagine this poor gentleman 4,000 years ago realizing that this was how it was going to end. And there are many, many stories about this place. So if you've never been, please go. It is great, and enjoy it. This band for you right now is going to play Lost in Mammoth Cave by Robert Sheldon.